Inside information. So blowers hotline.
We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The emergency alert system has been activated.
Barack Obama has declared the Kiev uprising a moral victory, Crimea's vote a sham, and Russia a brute aggressor that must be confronted. To prove his points, the president used examples, including US achievements in Iraq. RT's Gianni Chikian takes a look at the narrative being put forward by the White House.
In President Obama's view, while protesters at Maidan did have a right to overthrow a democratically elected leader,
each of us has the right to live as we choose.
The people of Crimea did not have the right to vote on their future.
Together, we've condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine and rejected the legitimacy of the Crimean referendum.
According to President Obama, the U.S. was a mere observer to the revolution in Kiev.
Make no mistake, neither the United States nor Europe has any interest in controlling Ukraine.
One wonders if U.S. officials got the same message when they descended on the streets of Kiev to cheer on the revolution, and when members of the Obama administration were deciding in private who should be in the Ukrainian government and who should not.
I don't think Klitsch should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
In terms of him not going into the government, just let him sort of stay out and do his political homework and stuff.
President Obama then suggested what the U.S. did to Iraq was not as bad as Crimea joining Russia.
We did not claim or annex Iraq's territory. We did not grab its resources for our own gain. Instead, we ended our war and left Iraq to its people in a fully sovereign Iraqi state that can make decisions about its own future.
1 million Iraqis died, according to the United Nations. 5 million were made into refugees. A country was ripped apart. 5,000 Americans died. Tens of thousands had life-changing injuries. Can you compare that, what happened in Iraq, to what happened in Crimea in the last 2 weeks?
President Obama has failed to mention that the U.S. left an Iraq which was becoming a safe haven for al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda was not there before the U.S. invasion. The president then brought up Kosovo and why it should not, in his opinion, serve as a precedent for Crimea.
NATO only intervened after the people of Kosovo were systematically brutalized and killed for years.
But he did not specify how the U.S. intervened. It bypassed the UN Security Council and bombed the former Yugoslavia for 2.5 months, killing almost 500 civilians. Serbia's capital, Belgrade, still bears the scars of that intervention.
We are confronted with the belief among some that bigger nations can bully smaller ones to get their way. That recycled maxim that might somehow makes right.
We, the American people, each time we have a new generation, it's sent to fight another war. There's no country that has a similar record of militarism and intervention. So for the United States to say, well, now big countries can't bully small countries, that belies their own record, and certainly the record of the other NATO powers.
In his speech, President Obama has glossed over some of the most controversial pages in U.S. foreign policy. And by doing that, he seems to have further highlighted the double standards in how the U.S. is upholding international law and norms. In Washington, I'm Gianni Chikian, RT.